All right, so here we are. We are being joined by our wonderful guests. For listeners of the Hot Pot, this is probably the first time that you've heard of our lovely guests today. But whenever you guys are ready, just give yourselves a bit of an introduction. Say hello, say hi to the Hot Pot community.
We're Nancy.
Hello, my name is Jessica.
Hi, I'm Stella.
And I'm Emily.
I'm Nina.
And I'm you.
And we are a pop girl group here in Vancouver. And our music, I would say, is a fusion between a J-pop sound and a mainstream Western pop culture appeal, I would say.
Sure, and you know what? Gotta say, big fan. I'm a big fan of you guys. I've been keeping up with your music, your channels for a decent amount of time, and I really gotta say that I think you guys just before we actually get started with any questions, let me just fanboy for a few minutes. I think you guys are totally fascinating, just because every once in a while, I think when you listen to like K-pop or J-pop or even like Mandarin language music, like Chinese hip hop or whatever the case is. I think every once in a while you'll get people from like either Northern America or like Europe who'll go over to Asia and they'll still kind of bring over that style with them. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody kind of doing the reverse, which is why I'm so fascinated by your guys' style.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting mix, hey? Like a lot of people, when they listen to our music, they can tell straight away it kind of has like a J-pop influence, and we often get questions about that.
Sure. Yeah, I can totally see why people are interested. Like I said, big fan.
Thank you.
Anytime. But so with that, I think I just kind of want to get started with a little bit of a pretty basic question, just because you guys are new to the Hot Pot and of course the CKXU 88.3 FM radio station. So just for our listeners at home who maybe have not heard of you before, just kind of tell us a little bit about how you guys got started, because I kind of know the answer. Like I said, bit of a fanboy, but for those who are new to you guys, just tell us a little bit about how you got started.
So I guess actually three of us, like out of the five in the group, actually met each other and worked with each other before. And that is also how we met with our current producer, Shun-san, he's a Japanese songwriter, singer, radio producer. He does a lot. Yeah, he wears lots of hats, and he's really cool, and he writes our music. And so we all I guess Shun, Stella, Emily, and I have already worked together before, and we decided that it would be cool to take on a new project, so we started this group.
And then we found you.
And we kind of just
hopped on, and now we're here.
Yeah, and now we're here.
But no, I think that's really cool though. Like I think especially like your vlogs and your streams or whatever, because of course for our listeners, not only are they musicians, they're a group of many talents. I'm talking streaming, editing, vlogging, all this kind of stuff. Very multi-talented. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's really cool, just because I think we can clearly see that you guys are very close friends, and I think that's also like. Emily, I think you're a big fan of like J-pop idol music, and so maybe you can kind of agree with me here. But like every once in a while, we'll find like a J-pop group that just like looks like they're really friendly, but then like in the behind the scenes, they like hate each other.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's just like, about us, like we're not just performers. No. We're not just performers. Like obviously we focus on singing and dancing and like, our performance, but we're also content creators. Like that's why we also focus on, making videos, streaming, that kind of stuff. Like it's kind of an evolved version of an idol, because we're also like creators and like performers. So that's the reason why I think what we do is really different from what they do in like, idols in Japan or other performers.
Yeah.
We're also focusing on social media.
Yeah, I gotta say, your content, some of it's like really, really interesting. I mean, like cooking videos, always cool, but I think Stella, you did a video about making dog treats. I did not expect that. So
Yes,
uh,
my
Stella
God.
loves
mad props.
What breed is your dog, if you don't mind me asking, Stella?
He's half Pomeranian, half Chihuahua. He's a mix.
Ah, you know, Pomeranians are like surprisingly vicious.
Like to me, Maru's is the name of her dog. It's kind of like a grumpy oji-san, like a grumpy.
No, he's actually scared of strangers, but when he's home with me, he's like the king of the family.
Right.
Living the life.
And so we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I just kind of want to get into a bit more like details, I guess. You guys and I have kind of mentioned already that you guys have that like idol influence, whether it's like from Korea or Japan or whatever, but you guys do have that kind of that inspiration. But I was wondering, what kind or like what groups in particular were like your bigger inspirations? Was there anything in particular, or was it just kind of a general thing?
Are we talking about like groups in Asia?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Because like we're kind of influenced by both like groups in Asia, but also like music here. But groups in Asia, I would say for me, I'm a big Juice Juice fan. But like I like a lot of different idol groups. How about you guys?
I'll let everyone go around. Nina's also a big J-pop fan, so
That's true.
Yes, actually, the group that kind of inspired me to want to become an idol was AKB48. I really like the really like golden time was it the coming seven? Yeah, like that was like the best time. Their song are always every song were like my favorite.
Yeah, good old AKB. I think, well, because Mac, Matthew, and I the three of us used to live in Japan. You know, AKB is kind of like literally everywhere in over there, and so I think the three of us have quite a lot of like experience, like seeing them everywhere. But Matthew, what do you have to ask?
What do I have to ask? Well,
I'm
first,
putting you on
also,
the spot.
I'm also happy that someone mentioned Juice Juice because they are a talented group, very talented.
Yeah, that's why I like Juice Juice and like a lot of Hello Project groups. Because I
Yeah.
find they're quite different than other idol groups that are more about visual and also like well, of course, personality, that's also important. But I find that a lot of the Hello Project groups, they focus a lot on performance and how to make an entertaining show, which I'm very much into.
Yep, they definitely do that.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so your J-pop group name is Non-Sweet, which is a great name, but I was wondering what the inspiration behind that name was.
Oh, well, actually, like, because like in Japan, like when you talk about idols, like they have to be like cute and like bright and energetic. But like, I know like all five of us are like really cute. But then we also wanted to try like different kind of styles when it comes to music. So
Mhm.
also want to look cool. Sometimes we also want to look like
more grown up.
more grown up, like adult like. So, and then like we were trying to think like what kind of name would suit our group. Like we thought about it a lot, like for weeks.
We had lists of names that like we would all sit around a table and like write a bunch of names and be like, how about this? And it's like, no, that sounds too cute still. And it's like, okay, how about this? It's like, no, that doesn't like sound right when you say it.
Do you remember
Mhm.
one that you really liked? Like one of the names that we didn't like we end up not using that you really
Oh,
liked?
wasn't it like something Venus?
Yeah.
We're gotta have Venus in our name.
Well, I know there's a K-pop group. Well,
Mhm.
there used to be. They're not really a thing anymore, but there used to be a K-pop group called Hello Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
we realized that and then we didn't go.
Right.
So yeah, and then Emily came up with the name Not Sweet. And I thought it would really suit us because like the word non-sweet means like very like like there's no sugar.
Yeah.
So like people might think like, oh, does that mean like you're not like sweet? No.
We're all very sweet, I would say, but like we want to try some different genres of music. Like we're not afraid to try like more cooler type songs, and it's kind of a work in progress right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
hence like time slip.
Oh, look at Time Slip, right? It's definitely something that we wouldn't have done maybe perhaps in the past, like a lot of us like it. But I'm really happy that we stepped out of our comfort zone and like we're doing more like experimenting with these kind of
different concepts.
different concepts.
Well, if Non-Sweet ever releases a reggae album, I'll be the first one to pre-order it.
It'll be interesting though.
Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of variety.
Yeah, I'd be the first one to download it. But with that little hint about Time Slip there, I kind of want to talk about that because that's kind of like your real big single, hey?
Mhm.
And like your first one, I should say. You had that Christmas song before, but Time Slip, I feel like that's kind of really kind of the big introduction for a lot of people when it comes to Non-Sweet's music. And so I kind of want you guys to kind of talk about that, like the process of making Time Slip. What was it like? Kind of what was it like doing that type of music in a Canadian context too? Because like I said, it's not really a type of music that's super common here.
We actually started working on Time Slip way back before even Merry Christmas Kiss was a thing.
Yeah, like Time Slip was meant to be our first song,
Like our debut song.
yeah. So
And then Merry Christmas happened. Yeah. And I guess like majority of our creative process start with shooting, writing the music, and then the next thing that would happen is like we work on the English lyrics. So yeah, Miu and Emily did really work very hard on it, and it was a hard one to write too, right?
So hard.
it was really tough. Like we had the song, like Shun wrote it, obviously, and he sent us like what he was thinking.
Yeah, and obviously Shun is Japanese. He doesn't write in English, so
Sure.
the lyrics originally were all in Japanese, and we had to like look at them and like I guess deconstruct it in a way that would suit like a North American audience kind of thing.
Yeah,
and that was really hard.
There's two big obstacles, I would say, while we were working on the lyrics. Number one is the cultural part of writing lyrics because, obviously they're Japanese lyrics and they reflect like Japanese culture and like way of life, relationships and stuff like that. And often we have to make changes to fit more of a Western audience and like people here and our style. And that's kind of interesting. Like there's some parts are like, oh, like let's do it more like this because we think it will be more popular with Western fans.
Yeah, like they would probably resonate more.
Yeah,
right?
they'll resonate more with those feelings. And then the other big obstacle, which I would say was the reason why it was so tough, is because like when you have a Japanese song, like the syllables are very different than English.
Right.
And like the way it's written in Japanese by Shun, of course, because he's Japanese, like it's meant for Japanese lyrics in his mind. And then we're trying to write English lyrics with it, and it's like sometimes, you've got to make changes, and
it's really hard to like find the right words in English that suit the syllable count in Japanese, but also flows well with the song that was originally written in Japanese. So it's a lot of like writing and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and stopping and then coming back and rewriting again.
Because we want it to sound natural. Like that's the goal, like to make it sound like natural, but sometimes with the rhythm and the syllables,
it's just not possible. You have to make little changes.
It's a challenge for sure.
We took like what, 3 months, 2-3 months to work on it.
It took so long. Well, because we were also working on
We were also working on Merry Christmas Kiss as well. So I would say like
probably took 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just lyrics.
And that's just lyrics. Like I don't know if everybody knows this, but so much goes into making these songs. Like we've got the lyrics, we've got the music, the lyrics, the outfits, the videos, the promotional stuff. Like it's a lot, and it doesn't happen like magic.
I wish
Yeah.
it did.
I wish it did. I wish it did, but no, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I haven't written or recorded songs, but I actually have a question about the people you work with. So you've talked about Shun, and I just in the credits of your video, there was like some other Japanese sounding names at least. Like, are these people actually in Japan doing this, or are they like Japanese expats here in Canada?
So the audio engineer that mixed our song, his name is Shinpei, and he actually works for Shun, and he mixes a lot of songs for Shun. And he's the one who mixed our song as well.
Daiki is a photographer and he's local.
Yeah,
He's local. But he moved to Canada. So he was originally raised in Japan. Yeah. Who else do we have Japanese? I think that's it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's really cool, and like definitely, I think it adds a lot of authenticity to you as like I guess a Japanese inspired group for sure. I guess
It definitely make it like more complete of an like J-pop sounding group kind of image, right? Yeah, with the visual and the audio.
absolutely. I mean, I think besides the all English lyrics, like, I mean, if this was, I don't know, 75% Japanese, I would just think you guys were another idol group from Japan. I mean that as a compliment. But I guess a question about something you had mentioned before, like how you don't want to just be tied down to one image, like you want to experiment with different sounds. Do you think it's possible in the future that you might do some music maybe more like Korean inspired or I don't know, like less Japanese, just because non-suite is so diverse? You know, I feel like you could get away with that really easily without people getting, I don't know, upset or whatever.
You know, I don't think we've never
really thought about
we never
that.
really thought about that because just we work with Shun and like with his music, I think it's definitely more like J-pop sounding, but we do like K-pop. Like a lot of us are
Yes,
K-pop fans.
I do.
So
Yeah, I think it would be an interesting experiment. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen anytime soon. But I do myself, because I plan out like choreo and stuff. So I do take inspiration from like some of the K-pop groups because I do think that they're very talented. They have very strong like skill. So I would like us to have that as well.
best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's a both worlds, right?
And our skills, that's very important to us. Like our singing skills and our dance skills. Like we often take like, dance classes
To work on it. Yeah. I think that's one thing that it's not necessarily like an essential in like the J-pop world is some of them can like some of the groups, their main thing is just them being cute. So they're like it's not that they're not talented, but they're more about like personality and also like just entertaining people, but sometimes like they might not have such strong skills. Where K-pop in general, like they get trained a lot more, right? So I would like us to have both.
Influence that, because the whole thing with like J-pop idols is that like you're cheering these girls on, right? Like you're watching them grow and get better. Whereas with K-pop idols, from what I understand, because I don't really know much about K-pop, but they're like curated, right? And then they come out like amazing already,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Like they're almost like a finished product. Like not the best word to put it, but I think that's how they see it.
But in terms of like music styles and stuff, it would be cool to do like a K-pop sounding song. But I'm not sure. We can talk to Shinson about that.
Yeah.
And just I kind of want to just kind of piggyback off of that a little bit because Mac, you were talking about kind of the diversity within the group and like the different styles that you guys have, and also the openness that you guys have to just kind of experiment with all these different like genres and styles. And so, because I know that you guys are kind of a like different backgrounds, hey, and I think you guys speak a few different languages, hey?
That's right.
Yeah, and so, oh, sorry, I'll let.
You
Sorry,
want
go
us to
ahead.
say? Or
Yeah, please do, please.
Well, yeah, so a couple of us speak different languages. Yeah, I speak French as well.
Yeah, I speak Canto and Mando.
I speak Korean and a little bit of
I speak Mandarin.
Sure. Well, that's really impressive, but
It's super cool.
yeah, it is. And I think I saw like on your Instagram pages that you guys are also studying Japanese, hey?
Yes.
We're
Yeah. Not the easiest language, gotta say. But like I kind of want to piggyback off of just languages in general because I know that you guys speak those different languages, and something that's like quite common, especially in Korea. You see this a bit in Japan and in China, Taiwan as well, but especially in Korea, is that you'll have like a one group, for example. It could be a random K-pop group, but because some of the members are of different backgrounds, every once in a while they'll release like singles or like EPs or even sometimes full albums in different languages. So because I know that you guys have done mainly just English music right now, would you guys kind of be open to try making like a single or even like an EP or something in the languages that you guys speak as well?
I feel like we talked about this a little bit. Like, oh, it would be cool to like have a verse in French for a song. kind of thing.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned that in French too.
Or like a song that has like a line of like different language in there. Like a
That would be
yeah,
cool.
that would be cool.
I would really like that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be cool. But like an entire EP, I think it might be a bit more difficult because then you guys all have
I don't know how to
learn
But because we are targeting like a North American audience, like Canada, US, also like, Europe, Australia, like English speaking countries are our primary target. So that's why, our songs are in English. But a lot of our fans also like Japanese culture and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did some songs in Japanese.
Yeah.
Right on. No, I think well, I'm looking forward to the future of Non-Suite, absolutely. Hopefully the listeners at home are also completely on board with you guys because I think you guys are going to have a pretty bright future with music. And so I'm very excited. Matthew, I don't know if you want to add anything or ask anything before we start closing off this interview.
I have so many questions I would love to ask, but I'll try to hold back a little bit. I guess one thing, people who think about Japanese idol groups, they often associate them with these big production companies and whatnot, like Hello Project, or in Korea it'd be like JYP or something. And so I was just wondering, like, Non-Suite, is it more of an independent project?
We are creatively supported by Shun and his agency No Make, but we are independent artists. So we run this whole show.
Well, yeah, that's the vibe I got, because like in the credits you've got like Jessica doing choreography, and I'm just trying to remember, but like, the English lyrics, like you guys were taking care of that, and so, and then I think, yeah, Stella, you were doing a bunch of like audio production, or like maybe assisting with that. So it seemed like, as like members of an idol group, like you were heavily involved with that.
Yeah, and I think it's a good thing because the product we end up like producing would be a representation of all of us. So I think that's part of like what makes the music unique as well.
No, I love that so much. Some of these groups that are pretty popular, I feel like there's always someone who's pulling all the strings, and they're kind of just, just following the contracts, or, you know.
Mhm.
But with you guys, you know, you can definitely tell like it's a lot more personal.
Yeah, we're more hands-on.
Yes.
And so with that, I think it's a good spot to just kind of end off the interview. So like I said, just kind of at the beginning, thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a very big pleasure to finally get to talk to you guys, and of course because I listened to you guys, I kind of had my moment to fanboy a little bit at the beginning, but definitely we'll definitely try to keep up with your music as much as we can. But anyway, I think our time is just about to end. So like I said, just thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Yes, please follow us on our social media. We are always active on there and posting about our activities. So we'd love to see some new bands on there.
Yeah, and Mackie said you have a lot more questions, so we are totally down
Oh,
for
yes,
a second
let's
round.
do
If you
it.
have more questions for us,
Non-sweet part
because we're always
2.
in the work of making more music, so maybe in our next release we can come back a second time.